Very devoted to her father. She helped a lot at Yontif. I had to create a balance of how much the Rebbe could take stress and how much really you have to let him have the stress, because that's what he's a Rebbe, and a Rebbe has to give to Chassidim. He has to give in order to survive also. So when it came to Farbrengen, always the family was concerned that there was not enough air in the room. And so they had to control the amount of people. And I remember Rebbetzin, chaya mushka, we call her Moshe at that time, standing at the top of the small, the narrow steps that go up from downstairs to the upstairs apartment. That's where they controlled how many people can come in at the door, and like little by little letting people in, make sure that the room isn't too crowded for the Rebbe's health and so on. Of course, later on, I realized that I don't know how many wives would stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning and wait for the husbands to come home from Yechidus, and that he shouldn't be there eating by himself. And so she did that I know she did it every night she was up.
מרת לואיז הגר הייתה בת 14 כאשר פגשה לראשונה את הרבנית chaya mushka, רעייתו של הרבי. במהלך השנים פיתחה מערכת יחסים קרובה מאוד עם הרבנית.
The first time I spoke about the Rebbetzin was 3 years after she passed away. I was asked by Neshei Chabad to come on the third yacht site. I felt that I had to write to the Rebbe. I needed to have his permission to speak about the Rebbetzin. And immediately he ring round, that I should do it, and which I did. I sent in my speech before. We arrived on Sunday. I was going to speak on Wednesday evening. We arrived on Sunday, and we went straight from the plane to Dollars. We've just come straight from the airport, and I'd like a bracha, as I'm speaking on the outside, the Rebbe's outside, that I should be able to go over what she was to me, and thereby make her memory greater and give the Rebbe nechas.
God will much bless you to have always good news about all these persons, and the news will be a growing manner.
Thank you very much.
God will much bless you.
Thank you.
That's for an additional blessing for good news.
There were 1,400 women at the convention, and I was absolutely petrified. I'd never spoken in public before. I always was very intimidated. There are certain wonder women in Lubavitch, I think we can all pinpoint them, who could stand on street corners and ask women do they want to do neshek and speak very publicly about being more observant, and I always found that very hard. It was something that I just couldn't do. And I would talk to her about that, and she would say, there'll be a time. She never made me feel inadequate for not being able to do that. She always praised me for you're a good wife, you're a good mother, look what you're doing at home, or your strengths are at the moment like this, but you never know, you may be able to do that in time. I learned so much from her, valuing people for what they are, not knocking them, building them up, the importance of the role of being a good wife.
דוקטור סוזן הנדלמן היא פרופסור לספרות אנגלית באוניברסיטת בר אילן בישראל. ב-1977 היא באה ללמוד בקראון הייטס, תוך כדי עבודתה על תואר הפרופסור שלה באנגלית.
The issue of women in Judaism was very troublesome to me. I went to Smith College. I graduated in 1971. It was the height of the feminist movement. So when I came to Crown Heights to study, and in the years after, this was a very big concern for me. And one of the most profound things that I learned was the role of women in Hasidic philosophy and in Kabbalah through the Rebbe's sichas and through learning there. So I started to write articles on this to help me work out the ideas. So when I was studying there, and right after, I wrote my first one, which was called The Jewish Woman 3 Steps Behind with a question mark. And I sent it in to the editor of a journal called the Yiddish Haim, the Jewish Home, which was put out by Neshei Chabad, the Jewish Women's Organization of Crown Heights. And it was edited by a woman. It was half English, half Yiddish. Nice little magazine. And then another very interesting line. It was written in Hebrew in the third person, in kind of the way that you write politely with great respect, in the European style. Nehaneti mima'amara b'Yiddish Haim haba aleinu l'tova. I enjoyed her, and this is your article, in the forthcoming Yiddish Haim. I thought, how did the Rebbe know that I wrote an article in the Yiddish Haim about Judaism and feminism, and that he enjoyed it? The Rebbe, I understood from friends of mine who worked closely in his office, got at least 400 letters a day, endless numbers of faxes, endless numbers of phone calls, met people into all hours of the night, was overseeing thousands of his Chabad Shluchim emissaries all over the world. So how did he know, and how did he, that I wrote this article in the Yiddish Haim? So the editor told me that the Rebbe had such a concern for women and for their activities, and so wanted to encourage them, that after she edited all the articles, he also went over them and edited them himself. And I have the manuscripts. And I wrote in English. So as a favor to me, she gave me back these manuscripts. I was astonished. I taught writing. I taught freshman composition. I'm an English professor. I was working on my PhD in English. He edited my English like an English professor. Every word, typos he caught, putting in apostrophes, changing words, taking out redundant words, the kind of editing that an editor would do. I wrote about 6 or 7 for the Yiddish Haim, and those were also edited just like an English professor. Every little dot, every typo, every misspelling, plus concepts, philosophical concepts about theory of science and secular wisdom. We happened to be filming this, and I requested it on Rosh Chodesh, which is a special holiday for Jewish women. And in some of the articles I wrote, I cited things he wrote about the Jewish woman has this as a special holiday because the Jewish women did not participate in the making of the golden calf. They didn't give in their jewelry. They didn't believe the bad report of the spies about the land, and so they have this special holiday. And the Rebbe stressed, I remember writing, so every Jewish woman in every generation celebrates this and has this power. And he underlined all in the additions he made to my manuscript, that women have this power of redemption, this power of emunah. Every Jewish woman, he always specified that. And therefore, every Jewish woman, no matter who she is, no matter what she does, every single encounter, I learned from the Rebbe, has a power to affect the world.
Bless you for your kindness, for the help of the housing population of this city, including the Jewish population, and the discrimination. And to go from strength to strength in all things, private and public.
I'm very, very sorry for your tragedy. Please accept my condolences, my sincere condolences. We're all praying for you in your time of need.
but not necessary to transfer it to good deeds for all the population, as I mentioned before. It will be also the most gratifying thing for the neshama, for the soul of the departed person. Her first name was Chaya. That means life. That is the name that has been inscribed on her matzeh. That means that it is perpetual even after the life in this earth. Till transformation. I hope it will be very soon.
I hear she was a wonderful, wonderful woman, your wife. Thank you, sir.
In my opinion, it is underestimated.
That's underestimated.
But many God Almighty knows all the truth, and especially if everyone will try his best to emulate, to fulfill her wishes, it will be, as I said before, the best gratification for the neshama and also great use for the living person after her.